Okay, thanks for coming to the TUG Online Forum Discussion webinar today. And today's webinar is going to be demoed by Shawn Kaelber, who's one of our TUG board members and also one heck of a techie. I think next to Shawn, it's the next best thing to having a 10-year-old in the crowd. So
hey.
Thank you, Shawn, first of all, for agreeing to do this. I know you've been on the website since the beginning, which is back in 2013, so we've been running on this thing about 3 years now. And
yep.
You've been a very active user. So, all right, so let's get started with it. To get going, well, I see we're on the public site, so you can take it away from here.
Yeah, the one thing we wanted to highlight is obviously we want to welcome everybody. A lot of you guys are users. I recognize some of the names that are out there that are actually on the site. What we're going to do is pretty much starting from the basics. We're going to go from the beginning of how to set up an account, a few of the things that we ask you guys to do on your accounts that makes it a lot easier as you're navigating through the site and working with other users. But the first thing we wanted to highlight here was the main public-facing usergroup.org website. So at the usergroup.org, we have this main page here which covers obviously our blog, news, events, a little bit more information about what the user group in TUG is, especially if you don't know what a SIG is. I know that gets thrown around a lot of times and people wonder what a special interest group or a SIG is. This is the place to get that kind of information, as well as information on the TUG events, Infor events, a lot of things that are coming up, and a lot of our articles and blog posts that get pushed out there. But this is also a great place to start to get into the membership portal. A lot of times when you get your email, you get a link right to the membership portal. But this is another way to get in there is you just click on the login to the member portal, and it will take you right over to the member portal login page. So the first time you come in, obviously, it'll ask you to create your password, but you'll put your information in. And once you log in, you will see the main community feed. The first thing we ask you to do when you come into this community feed is actually go up to where your name is in the top right here. And when you go up to the top right, we're going to go to this Edit Contact Info. And the only real requirement on this page is your email address. You'll notice the asterisk by your email address here. And it's already filled in for you because it's part of your account. But you have these little drop-down tabs next to each one of these. Fill out as much or as little information as you want, but as you're networking, you'll learn it is helpful information to be able to share out on the site. It is secure information, so it's only limited to users on the TUG community site. But you have a few options as you drop down here. You'll see employees, external, and public. External and public, think about it as the same thing. It doesn't really matter. We don't have any public-facing side of the website of the community page. So none of this information is going to be shared outside of the community page, as I mentioned. So you can choose external or public. That's going to share it with other users within the community. If you leave it at the employees option, that's going to share it just with Gary and Karen Brown, who are the member association company that we hire and manage most of the business and daily operations of TUG. So as you can see here, I've got my email address in there. I've got my phone number in there. I'll go ahead and switch it to external. So any other users that come in and look at my profile would see those, and I'll hit the save button here. And actually didn't mean to close that just yet. The other piece is the About page. It's got a little bit of information here, your title, the company you're with, and you'll see that those are automatically shared fields. The only thing you have is your title can be shared externally by default, or again, if you want to hide that, you can put it on employees. Okay.
Yep.
So we'll save the contact information, and the one thing I forgot to mention was my last name here. The one thing that we do ask everybody to do, and I'll point this out in just a few minutes when we get to it, but the one thing we ask you to do is actually to take the brackets and put the ERP that you use in your company at the end of your last name. The reason that we do that is the search functionality within the software that we use called Chatter by Salesforce only searches the name fields when you're searching for a person. But this is an easy way for you to go within the people section of the community page and search for everybody who's using that similar ERP that you use. You see a lot of people out there, they'll add A+. We also use Storefront. Obviously, if I was using Fax, I'd put Fax here. those kind of things. So as you have that within the brackets there, anybody can type in A+ on the people page, and they'll be able to search and find all the other A+ users who have entered that information. So now I'll click Save at the right time here, and we'll move forward. So this is your community page. This is the main page that you're going to come into every time. And what this is this is a general feed of everything that's going on with all the groups that you're a part of, that you've joined. So the first thing you want to do when you come into the site is make your profile changes that we just made. The next thing you want to do is go to this Groups tab. When you go to the Groups tab, you're going to see a list of all the groups. I'm going to click on this Active Groups here, and I'm going to click on the name header so I can see all the groups listed within our community. Now what we encourage you to do is join the All Members group first of all, which is just what it sounds like. It's all members, so that you get an activity feed of anything posted in the general feed, as well as any of the ERPs or software packages that you belong to. So the thing to remember, they're all color-coded. If they're orange, they're a general topic group, so they don't just apply to one ERP or one software solution. If they're green, they're A+. If they're red, they're SX.e, and if they're purple, they're fax. So one thing to remember as you go down through there, it's a quick reference as you scroll down here. If you want to find all the purple ones just for fax, you just look for the purple color, click the join button next to it. Any of the ones that you see listed asked to join are private groups. The moderator or the owner of that group will have to approve you to be added to that group. Once you join all your groups, you'll be able to move back to your feed, and what you'll notice is now I can see the current happening of what's going on within the community. So any of the groups and any of the posts that are going out there by any users as a part of those groups that are being posted out there will show up in my feed, as well as any users that I follow. If you have a user that's out there and you see he's got a lot of great information he's posting out there, all you got to do is go over his name. You can click the follow tab here. If you click on his profile, it's up in the right corner here.
Hey, Shawn, is there any way for a person to tell who is following them that you're aware of?
There is, actually. If I go under my profile, let's see if I can remember. I don't have it under this because we're logged into the dummy profile here.
Okay.
Normally, it will show you. Let's do that real quick. I can switch it real fast. Oh, I could be wrong. I thought it showed it right here on the right side when you're on your feed, on your profile page.
Okay. I was wondering about that. I've never seen it before, so.
Yeah, I was thinking it did show it up in the right corner, but I'm incorrect in that. It does not.
Okay. Hey, I also wanted to point out regarding the groups, there are a couple of other groups out there. There's a SHIMS group and an Enspire group, and I think we have a couple of SHIMS users on the call today, so I didn't want them to feel like they were being excluded at all.
Yep, and not trying to leave them out at all. And what you can do is when you come in here, if you don't see it right away, but you know the group you're looking for, you'll notice right at the top here, if I want to find that SHIMS group, all I got to do is type in SHIMS. I didn't even hit enter. I just waited for it to pop up. So SHIMS is in yellow. So right there, I can join that group. Now that I'm a member, if you accidentally join a group, just hit the X there, hit OK. It'll take you right back out of it. Just a quick find you can do, though, when you're looking for a specific group instead of having to scroll through all of them. I know it can be daunting sometimes when you're looking through here, making sure you know which ones are which. But the color coding that Gary and Karen did helps a lot when you're navigating through there to find the ones that are pertinent to you.
Okay.
Once you join those groups, the one thing you'll want to do is make sure you're getting notifications for those groups. So what's going to happen is when someone posts in one of the groups that you're a member of, you'll get an email notification for that. And you can change how frequently you get those notifications. Do you have a question, Gary, or you have something to add?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So the one thing we want to do is go back up to the top where your name is listed, and we're going to hit My Settings. Once you go to My Settings, you're going to hit this Email Settings button here. And you'll notice that you've got a few options up top here when someone posts on your profile, so someone's directly posting to you or shares a post that you made. Even if they like or comment, you can check it. I wouldn't recommend that because you're going to get tons of them if you get a lot of good posts out there. If someone mentions you, obviously, in a comment or a post, those kind of things. These are the default settings right here. If you decide that you're getting too many emails, you can limit those based on your personal preference. But the real important section is the one down here at the bottom. Once you're a member of those groups, it's going to default to a weekly digest, which you're going to get at the end of the day on Friday. I believe at 6 p.m. on Fridays, you'll get those weekly digest emails. The one thing I recommend is the groups that you're active in, your ERP, I would recommend that you get either a daily digest, or I even put most of mine on email in each post. Even if there's something that I don't need to respond to, it's great to have the information to see if it's something that's pertinent to you, that piques your interest, or if it's something obviously that someone's asking a question and you're able to answer that question, you're able to see it a lot quicker. So if they post it on Monday, you're not going to see it till Friday otherwise on the weekly digest. But I'd encourage you to get involved with the community in that way. You'll get a lot of great feedback from a lot of great questions, and we've had people reply back in less than 20 seconds and have the answers they're looking for that way. So I'd recommend that you do either the email in each post or the daily digest. And once you set that, you just hit save. And I closed my email on accident. So I was going to show you one of the emails on there, but you'll get a notification that'll come up. This section here will pop up in your email. You can actually reply directly to that email. Just hit your reply button. It'll come back into the site here as one of the feed pieces here. But if you want to do any additional like on that one, if you want to subscribe to it and make sure you get any of the follow-up, you have to make sure that you come into the site, in the community site, and either comment on that post or like it to subscribe to it and get that response back to your email every time.
So if you don't comment or like it or share it, then you're only ever going to get an email from the original post, but you won't get an email from anything else, any other
Correct.
comments. Okay.
Yep. But if you, like I said, if you like it or you comment on it, you're subscribing to the notifications at that point that anybody else responds to that. Some of them do come across as a summary, so you don't necessarily have to get 20 responses. I get them sometimes where people respond fairly quickly, and I have 3 in one email, for example. But it's great when you get one, especially that you want to hear the feedback on, or you're giving feedback on in a conversation, and that way you're getting the responses back and forth a lot quicker.
If you subscribe to a daily or a weekly post, do you get the original email plus all of the comments, or do you just get the original?
You get a little bit of a summary at the end of it. You get the original post and you get some of the comments, and it kind of summarizes it, some of the responses, but really you have to come into the site to get the full conversation at that point. If you actually like and comment on one, that's separate from your subscription to the group emails. If you like or comment on it, you're going to get direct notifications based on those default settings in the top area.
Okay, very good.
So once you're in there, obviously I've got a whole bunch of different feeds going on with the people in here. The one thing that you want to do is make sure you know you're connected to the proper people. So you're in the groups. The next step you have is the people. Like I said, you can follow certain people, or you can find specific posts on that person within the people tab here. So I'm going to do an A+. And I'm going to use Dave as the example since he's standing right next to me here. So if I click on Dave, I can see his recent post and activity as well. That's one way you can navigate if it's something that, oh, look, I got blamed for something there. You can navigate through this page that way and see what's going on with that person. If you know they've got either a lot of great information, or they mentioned some information you want to refer back to get that information back and find out what the details were. The last main thing we want to go over is posting. Obviously, that's going to be an important part of being on the community discussion page, is a few options that you have. You can post just a general post. Obviously, that's text. When you click up here, you can enter the text. You can format the text, make it look pretty as you post that, and then you're going to hit the share button. You can do a regular post, like I said, just as text. You can post a file, either a file directly from the community here that's already been posted you can share, or you can upload a file from your computer. That can be a Word, Excel, PDF, etc. You can share a link to an external site or to the usergroup.org site, wherever that site may be, to an article, to a blog post, something that's going to refer back to a vendor site, whatever the case may be. You can give it a name, and when you do that, this is what it'll look like. So you'll get a link. That way you don't have to do the full domain every time if you want to give a specific name, so it has a little better description of what the link points to. But it's a great way to share content external to the community page and to the usergroup.org. And the last thing is the poll. Go ahead.
Well, I tried to attach a file and post a link in the same email, and it didn't let me. So
you can't do both of these, but you can put in the text of it. You can still put a link. So if you put the full domain, I don't think you even have to put the HTTP if I remember right. Oh, that's because I'm on file, sorry. Yeah, it'll convert it to a hyperlink automatically, which you can also do in any of these in the text. Okay. So obviously those are your 4 types of posts that you can do. You can post, again, you can do the file, you can do the link, or you can do a poll. If you have a question you want to ask and you want specific responses to it, it's a nice little poll feature. It can be a yes, no. You can add more depending on what the answers you want to get back are. You'll see us post these every once in a while. It's a quick and easy survey, gets right to the point. It's not a feature that's used widely within the community, but you'll see some of the SIG leaders will use it to gather some information. Important thing to do when you're posting is to look at this to section down here. You'll notice my default is to my followers. So because this is a test account or a new account in this case, if you're setting it up, you're probably not going to have any followers out there yet. So if you want people to see that post, you need to make sure that you change this. The main thing with this feature is you can pick a group, such as, again, we'll do all members, for example. If you want everybody to see it, it's a general purchasing question. You want it to throw it out there to the whole entire group, and you can see you want to make sure that you pull the right people and the right resources to answer that question. I recommend if it's not ERP specific or SIG specific to the special interest groups, I would recommend you put this all members in here. If you want to tag a specific person, you can go right within the post here, and if you're familiar with a lot of social media, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, you can put the @ here, and you'll notice if I start typing someone's name, I'll get a list here of all the Garys that are a part of our community page. So if I want to tag Gary Brown because I want to get his feedback because he's a very smart guy, I'll make sure I tag him in there with that @. You can do as many tags as you want, and those will be links in there, so they'll get notifications that they were tagged within that comment. The one other thing you can do in there, you can tag a topic. The great thing about using the community site is you can refer back to any of this information. So the one thing I suggest to do is just like a hashtag. Some people use them, some people don't. But the great thing about them is they add a topic to the conversation. So if I'm talking about my CRM at the time, I can do that as a hashtag, and that's going to be a linkable topic that I can then search. You'll see these trending topics down here that I can then go back to real quick and see what else what other conversations are going on in regards to that topic. So if I click on one of these, you'll see that because they tagged those as part of the topics, I can refer back to that quickly, and any other ones that were tagged with that topic would also show up in this feed.
Hey, Shawn, back to the tagging of people. So if you tag a particular person, but you're still sending it to the all members group, then everybody's going to get that email. It's not just going to be the person that you tagged, right?
Correct. By default, if you leave it at my followers, you can still tag a person, But if you want to direct message someone, I would actually click on their name or find them within the People tab and post directly within their on their page here. And you notice it says to Bob Albert and the community. There's not really a private messaging because anybody can obviously click on Bob Albert's information and they can then see what has been posted and shared within the information, but it goes right onto his page, so he's going to get direct notification of that.
Okay. And by the community, it means that it's also going to appear on the community tab.
Correct. It's going to, yes.
Okay.
Let's go back to the community tab while we're speaking of that. The last thing is we just talked about the hashtags and the topics. The great thing is you don't always have to go down here and look for what topics are trending. You can search for anything you want within this feed. So again, if we use CRM as the example, I want to go look for anything that was talked about with CRM. So this is actually, Beth has it in her description that she uses A+ Storefront and Infor CRM, like we said, within the brackets, which is great because we know she uses those products. We can use her as a resource if we needed to. But it'll also search any content within the text of the discussion. So if I go in here, I know AIM's one that's been talked about more. What did I do there?
Now, when you search within the community tab, is that going to search every group that's out there?
That's only searching the groups that you're a part of.
Okay. But it will search multiple groups.
Yes, it will. And I don't know why that's not working because those are things I know. Search all feeds.
Well, I'll just say this was working earlier today. The only reason it's not working is because we're doing a webinar.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on now. So you and I tested it before we did this, so I don't know why it's not working. Now, when I search all feeds, I'm getting the ones from the messaging here, but it's not searching the content. We will look into that and figure that out, but normally this is a pretty quick and easy solution to go down through there and just search for the information. Obviously, we have a few that are out there.
Type in unform.
One more time. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
So now you'll see it searching within the comment here and found special pricing. So it can be special characters, special pricing, whatever the case may be. Gary feels special on Tuesdays. I don't know what which one you're looking for. But in that case, you can search for it real easy that way, and it'll show all of them that show up within the groups that you're a part of within that feed by using that search feature. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the last piece we want to cover here is the files. Whenever you post a file to the community, it'll go within this files page here. So I can go to all files, and you'll notice it says all files I have access to. So this is only going to be files that are either shared to all members or files that are shared to your groups that you're a part of. And then you can search within these files and find, again, any of them that are pertinent to what you're looking for. And the reason I typed the word special there is you'll notice it doesn't just search the name of the file. It does search within the content of certain types of files if it's capable to based on the permissions of the way the file was created, basically. But I use that on purpose because you can quickly find information that way if you're searching for A+ advanced inventory management and you get really specific for what you're looking for. You can use that search feature to find the files necessary. Like I said, those are the same files that you're going to see when you go within a group here on the right side. And showing all here is going to be limited to that group, but you can expand it out to show all files. Quick and easy way to get to those files and reference back to them when you need to. One more thing to remember is if you have an issue on the site, if you have a question on the site, if you click this TUG support tab, it's going to take you to this member support page. You can create a case here. What's going to happen is Gary's going to get an email as a ticket for that case opened up, and then you'll be able to get that question answered and be able to obviously address whatever questions or support issues you may have.
Mm-hmm. Or you can just send me an email.
Or you can send Gary an email. There's Gary's email address.
And I do get a lot of emails, so feel free. Hey, Shawn, while we're talking about it, there are apparently a lot of people on this webinar who know a lot about the website, because as soon as we got done saying, I guess it doesn't show who your followers are, I had about 6 people comment about how you can actually find out who your followers are. So it says if you click on your profile and then click the Overview tab, on the right you'll see links to your followers as well as everyone you are following.
That's because I have no followers on this one. Yep,
yeah.
There it is. I knew you could do it. I knew I'd seen it off to this side before. I just couldn't remember exactly where I grabbed it before because I don't use it that often.
Well,
but you can see the groups you're part of. What's that?
It said thanks for all 6 of those people who answered that question.
Yeah, thanks for helping us out and answering that question. I knew there was a way to get to it. So you want to go ahead and answer a few minutes? We can answer some other questions that might be out there.
Yeah, sure. If anybody does have an question, you can raise your hand. And I'm going to start with Joe Greco. He's got his hand raised. And Joe, I'm going to unmute you now so you can answer your question. Go ahead, Joe.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to raise my hand, so.
No, that's okay. No worries. Okay, I'll put it back down. So let me read the first question out here. Let me just see Joe first. Okay. Okay, it says, sorry about that. I'm getting through all the answers to how you find your followers. Is there a preference to respond on the site directly versus respond to the emails? Is there a difference other than a delay from email?
There is a delay from the email in your response, but the other piece is you're not going to get the full conversation. So you're obviously going to have other responses that happen in between there. It's going to be helpful to get on the website and be able to see the 18 responses that may be in there in between. So I would recommend in most cases to log into the site, but if it's just a quick response, it's a great way to do it is just reply to the email.
Okay. And I don't know what the delay is. I don't think it's very long. It might be a minute or 2.
Yeah, it's not very long when you're in there.
Okay. So Andy made a comment, said, as an alternative, I never post from my feed. I choose a group and then post it there.
Yeah, it's a great point, and that's one of the pieces that I have. It's one of the reasons I highlight that followers piece. A lot of people seem to come into the site and you see the post area right here right away and you want to post. But it is helpful if you don't want to go in here and search for a group you know specifically when you're coming in to post something. It's storefront specific, let's say. I'm going to go right to storefront. And you're going to get the same posting section at the top. But you'll notice that it automatically associates it with that group. I would recommend that as well, especially when you're posting something that's ERP specific. I would recommend you go into the group to make sure it's getting to that ERP. Otherwise, you're flooding the all members group as well with ERP specific content, and then that kind of shies some people away from subscribing that frequently to the all members group because they're getting a lot of content that doesn't make sense to them.
Mm-hmm. So here's a really good question. Is there a way to search for the posts that you've liked in the past?
The like feature is more of a subscription. There's not actually a search that you can do on the like. You're not going to show them in your profile feed, and there's not really a way to search back to those liked posts, unfortunately. It's a good point. It's something we can bring up and make note of. I know we're working on making some enhancements to the site as we're possible. So it's something we'll look into, but currently, no, there's not a way to search for liked posts.
Okay. To search across the whole site if you don't know which group your query will be in.
Can you say that one more time, Gary?
Is it possible to search across the whole site if you don't know which group your query will be in?
Yes. When you do the search from the community page, you'll notice that I had the option to search an extended search. So you'll see that no matches found in this feed. Try searching all feeds. this feed, when it comes to here, it's actually going to search the entire site and any public groups. It will not search any private groups, but I'll get a lot more information that way coming through. You notice I'm actually getting the group name in some cases in this case as well, which I'm not subscribed to this group right now, but this way it will give me all that information of any group within the community page.
Now that's just for the groups that you subscribe to though, right?
No. No, in this case, if you do the search and you do the extended search, so again, I clicked on the search here, I search for AIM, and you see it says try searching all feeds. All feeds is exactly what it sounds like. It's going to search any public group. So even if you're not a member of it, it will search that group.
And it goes all the way back to it goes back to the beginning, right? All the way back to 2013?
Yep. Yeah, it will go all the way back to the beginning. AIM has not been out there that long, but you'll see I can keep going. It'll keep loading more as we go down here, and it's in timeline order.
Chronological.
So there's October 2nd. Chronological order, that's the word I was thinking of. October 2nd, 2013 is the oldest post when Chris said hi to everybody from Bontiva.
Okay. All right, so so Mary asked the question, have you purged or archived any past conversations, or are we seeing everything to date? And yes, you are seeing everything to date, unless it's a group that we've retired, and I really don't think we've retired any groups. So
yeah, not that I'm aware of it, we retired, so you'll see everything since the beginning. In fact, that Bontiva post was actually the company that brought this up for us.
Okay. Somebody made a comment saying you can bookmark a post and search that.
You can bookmark a post. There is a feature on the top here. So if I go to one of the ones I just had here, you can hit this bookmark option. That's one of the features we actually did not highlight. That's a great point. And then once you bookmark that, you can go and you'll see the bookmark tab here, or the bookmark button on the navigation on the left here, and you can see just those ones that you bookmarked. So if it's something you want to refer back to, I didn't even think about that. That's a great point. Use that bookmark feature, and you can get back to that easily instead of using the like feature.
All right. Thank you to Stefan Tagani for that comment. Okay. I see that Wayne has his hand raised. So Wayne Kessler, I'm going to unmute you so you can ask a question. And you're unmuted.
Hi,
Wayne. Good.
Hi, Wayne.
Doing well.
I don't know how my hand got raised.
Okay.
That was a mistake. I'm sorry, but nice to say hi. Say hi.
Okay. All right, thanks, Wayne. I'll go ahead and mute you again then. All right. And so, so Ben asked a question. So you have to have a filed search first, and I'm not sure what he's referring to there. Oh, he said a failed search. So you have to have a failed search first. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Ben.
For right now, you're right. When you're doing the search feature and you're looking for the complete search, and it's something that, again, I have a note of that we'll look into, it has to be a failed search. And I don't know why that happened, because it used to be that it would still give you this try searching all feeds, or it used to say something like not finding what you're looking for, try searching all feeds. But now, for some reason, that's not popping up when we do a normal search and get results. Oh, of course now it is. And not on the community page. Yeah, right here before it would, try searching all feeds should still be there. Why that disappeared now, I don't know, but we'll look into that. But right now, if you do a fail search, or if you know something that's not going to work, use an acronym, whatever you want to use, to try to find it, and that way you can get this link to try to search all fields.
Okay. Okay. I don't see any more questions, and I don't see any more hands raised. So at this point, I guess we can call an end to the webinar. And I just want to say thank you again, Shawn, for doing this.
Absolutely.
It's been a great help. And for those of you who attended, thank you for doing so. Look for the recording tomorrow morning on the website. And everybody have a great day. Take care.
Thanks, guys.